gentlemen, hello, this is Happy Sam the Happy Man, welcoming you to another half hour of Mirth and Melody. Boys, how about a fanfare? You see, Mr. Hamill, I might put it this way. To kill without thinking requires an emotional drive, the capacity to hate. That the robot cannot do. It is, after all, a machine.
Wonderful.
Is a supreme achievement of modern science.
Oh, Robert 23, how handsome and strong you are. I am your slave.
When fools play with science, I warn you, no good will come of it.
You have to watch him around tiny objects.
That's the kitty. Nice kitty.
Number 23, drop the kitten. Drop the kitten.
Drop the kitten. Drop the kitten. What's up, dudes? Bring that music volume down a little bit. Ready for some Sunday thermal smashing. First flight of the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. We're going to hit up kind of my hometown here. We're going to hit up the Owens Valley, one of my favorite places in the world. And I'm going to do some flying there. Just take a little bit of a break from flying in the Andes. We've been doing a lot of Andes flying. And we're going to be hitting that up quite a bit in a couple of days. So I figure let's go for a little race task today. See if we can race in the Sierra Nevadas. Mountains in California. And we're going to click the go fly time. Click the fly button at 2:10, not 2:15. 5 minutes earlier because I don't want to wait that long. So let's take a look at the task. Let's bring this one up. Got too many things here. There we go. All right, the task. 301.4 miles. Sort of central California in the mountains. I'm gonna start down here in the town of Inyokern. Inyokern is a famous glider port. They fly gliders out of there. And that is KIYK Kilo India Yankee Kilo. Kilo India Yankee Kilo. Inyokern. I'm going to take off from runway 15 because we got south winds. Strong south winds. Same weather as our Andes weather because I didn't feel like making a new weather plan and the wind's blowing in the right direction. Our new weather preset. Big giant start circle, so we'll have lots of room to get established here, and then we'll head north along the Sierras. Gonna hit some famous landmarks, Waltz Point and Mount Whitney. And then we're gonna fly up to Mammoth. Mammoth Mountain, famous ski area, and no doubt is full of people skiing right now, but we're gonna be flying in summertime in the sim, so there will be no snow there. It'd be cool to check this out in the wintertime with snow effects and things, but not very good soaring weather in the wintertime. So, and then from Mammoth, we're gonna go over to Yosemite National Park. So this is could be some tricky crossing going in and out of here. We'll have a crosswind and very high and rugged and difficult terrain. So we'll have to be very high to get across there. And we're running a custom scenery for Yosemite. I was rather disappointed. We flew to Yosemite a while ago, one of the first streams I did, and was rather disappointed with the stock scenery. So we're using this mod. The info is in our Discord server. ! Discord. Whoops. Without the fat finger emote. There you go. Join our Discord server. And that will info on downloading and links to the mod and stuff. So very cool. Curious to check out this mod, although you might not be able to see too much of the scenery because we'll need to be quite high in that area. So we'll see how that goes. Yosemite, and it's a free download, so give it a try. So we're gonna hit Yosemite, then we're gonna head back across the mountains to Lee Vining. Lee Vining is sort of the base of the famous Tioga Pass, which is this highway here, Highway 120. It's kind of the back way into Yosemite. Absolutely gorgeous drive. Phenomenal place of the world, part of the world to visit. And then from Lee Vining, we're going to blast north to Minden, another place where they fly gliders out of, Minden Tahoe Airport. We flew out of Minden, did a task out of there with Tom Lowe flying with us. Tom Lowe's flown there in real life. And so he showed us a real world task from there. Very cool. So that's our task today. A tour of the Sierras, the Sierra Mountains. Very excited to give this one a go, to fly in the Sierras again. And I have it loaded up here in a little nav map just so we'll get the track log and it can show the progress along as we're flying. All right, I'm showing 207 here, and we'll click the button at 210. Thanks for joining in, guys. It's gonna be a fun flight. Might be kind of quick if if we get high, then if we get plenty high, then if we're getting 18,000 feet, then yeah, we'll be doing all right. Just 2 minutes to go here. We'll click the fly button. Gonna fly the Discus 2C again, of course. This is my my airplane of choice. I'll stick with my psychedelic livery. Has been working good for me. I got lots of them though. A lot of them are boring. I don't like any of these boring ones. Stick with what we got. Pretty happy with that. Okay, minute and a half. Inyo Kern, we're flying out of this little town in the desert, kind of a blink and you'll miss it kind of place. But we've been through there a few times. We used to go camping in the area, and that was the nearest town. So go camping for 2 or 3 days in the mountains, and then drive down into Inyo Kern and have Mexican buffet breakfast. It's pretty good after 2 or 3 days of camping food, you know.
Presently is over the Central Pacific, nearing the end of the 7th revolution.
All right, 30 seconds here. 10 seconds. All right, here we go. For those of you that may not be aware, the reason we time the loading of the game, the click fly button, is that is the only way we have to synchronize the weather. If everybody has the same weather preset, it will generate the same weather, but but it's local. It's done locally on your computer. So once you load into the game, once you load into the game, the clouds start moving. So if we all load in at different times, the clouds will be in different places. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, let's take a look at some things here now that we are in VFR map. It will see if it shows my task. It should show it as a flight plan, and it does. Lots of air traffic around SoCal. Looks good. Okay, now once in the airplane, I hide the stick, disable the FLARM and the GoPro because I don't need those. Change it to Imperial units, Freedom units, and then check my weather. This should say noon, July 1st at noon. We want to be as close to noon as we can get it. 12:01, pretty good. And then the wind. So even though I don't have a gust, it always reverses the direction. So I put it in the same direction. Should all be from 180. Just to, because you can have, if you have wind and gusts from the opposite direction, it can, well, make things weird. Okay, weather looks good. Oh wait, one other thing I need to check in the weather is the pressure, 29.00. So I need to set this in here. Usually I forget that, 29.0. Looks good. And then I can switch to my navigation. Looks like it has the map loaded. That's good, sometimes it doesn't. And what I will do now is go to my task page and then the multiplayer. And connect again, add a new flight. Don't think that matters. 12:00, create flight, and join it. Okay, now anybody who else comes in can connect to that, and we'll show up on each other's computers. And then the last thing is the ballast. I'm gonna fill up on ballast. Be real strong today. 100% ballast, 458 pounds of water ballast. And all right, connect back to the winch. Let's take a look. Anybody else here with me? There's Space Vampire behind me. How you doing, Space Vampire? He's flying the DG-808 as usual. Good to see him there. Lots of air traffic around SoCal. We've got some very epic clouds. We're flying the California high desert. One of my favorite places. Just take a look around. China Lake Airfield over there. They do naval weapons testing kind of stuff. Alright, before I take off too, let's just check a little nav map. It does show me down there on the runway. That's good. Can hide that and go ahead and close the canopy up. Somebody named Wheatfield looks like they're F-16. Not one of our guys. Not one of our guys. Okay, that's good. All right, let's connect to the winch and go flying. Ah! All right, let's see. Let's do 7,000 feet and launch. All out, all out. area that's not making noise. That is a known bug. But climbing good here. 3,500 feet. There's 4,000 feet. Drifting away from that center line a bit. I'm gonna get as high as we can off of this toe here to make sure we can get up and find that thermal, get established. And it auto-released. Put my gear up, which I always forget to do. And I have to turn the computer off and on again to get it to beep. Come on, thing. There we go. Now, let's take a look here. I got lots of big clouds over there. That's upwind of where I need to be, though. Don't really want to go that way. I'm at 5,400 feet. Oh, there's the one right there. We'll go check this guy out. Some other big clouds there, but that's kind of towards the start line, so I want to stay upwind of the start line. So I'm gonna go ahead upwind of the shadow, upwind of this cloud here, this big thick cloud. We should be able to connect with a good climb there and get up to cloud base. I can see my NVIDIA overlays working today, rocking 91 frames per second, 96, thanks to the RTX 4090. Kind of spoiled myself yesterday with that. Everything runs very smooth now. Pretty awesome performance. And you'll notice, I don't know if you can, no, you can't see it because my video overlay, let me see, let's go here. GPU power, so only doing 200 watts right now. Totally crazy, 204 watts. That is definitely an underappreciated or unknown kind of feature of the 4090. Like, yeah, it can use a ton of power, but not necessarily. 200 watts, that's less than, I mean, my 3080 would have been like 350 watts flying, so we'll be saving on the energy bill. There we go, now we're seeing 10 knots, 11 knots of lift as we get right on the upwind side of this cloud. Just gonna go into it for a little bit, try to sort of size it out. Huge area of lift, I can definitely start turning. My navigation point to the start. Looking good. See Space Vampire now. He's just, is he floating there or is he looks like he's okay, he's climbing. Got it. Alright. So Space Vampire, I put a max altitude on the start, 18,000, and I'm gonna just say let's pretend, you know, pretend real world aviation rules and stay below 18,000 for the whole flight. Have a soft ceiling at 18,000 because that's the Class Alpha airspace. Can't go in there without permission. There are spots in the U.S. that they can get permission to go higher than 18,000. I don't think this is one of them. Too much busy air traffic heading in and out of Southern California. But I'm having no problem here. I just got right locked into this big thermal right off the start here. 7,200 feet. These are the ones that you dream about. Big fat thermals, consistent, smooth lift. Doing good. 8,200 feet. Flying the Discus 2C again today, of course. And this thermal's so big and fat, I can probably thermal from the external view. Oh, no, I screwed up. Get back in the strong part there. I seem to have lost Space Vampire here too. I don't. There we go. That is good climb. 9,200 feet. There's Space Vampire. He kind of just keeps like appearing and disappearing every time I come around. $9,700 feet. Mr. Chicken up there. Cool to see so much air traffic. I'm kind of not used to seeing that since we've been flying down in the Andes so much. I don't suspect many of them will be flying up this way though, which is unfortunate. I've been flying out of the strongest part of the lift on the downwind side, so I'm going to just kind of level the wings out, fly upwind a little bit, sort of change my center of my circling. Right about there. Now I'll start back. See if this does a little better. 11,200 feet, so I'm getting up no problem. Yep, much better. And once again, it does seem that the sim is regularly generating lift to above the base of the clouds and kind of right up the leading edge of it. So we'll see how far up we can go here. Climbing out right over the airport. It's just west of it a little bit. So I'm excited to check out this custom scenery for Yosemite. Flew there before. and was really disappointed. I'm like, really, this is the scenery they have here. So let's see how this custom scenery looks. The screenshot makes it look pretty nice. Looks like we're gonna disappear under the cloud here a little bit. Kind of just fly right through the front of it here. $13,100 feet. Doing good here. Space Vampire, if you're listening, join the multiplayer. The multiplayer section on the computer. I think we're both running. I think we both have this feature. We can see each other on the map. $14,000 feet. Now I'm kind of in and out of the strong part of the lift. Kind of fly right around the front of this cloud. Be cool to stick the wing in the cloud and see if the wing can disappear. A terrific climb to start the day, up to 15,000 here. Not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and not disappear into the cloud. I'll just make a right turn and sort of S-turn in the lift out in front of it. Flying in clouds also varying degrees of illegal. Let's see if I can kind of just like ridge toward the front of this cloud. I think that's kind of what's happening. $15,400 feet. I love just flying in and around, carving around the cloud here like this. Super cool. Super cool. Tierra, I'm not sure where that is. Down below me there. A lot of guys flying jets around here. No jets for me. Just gliders. Although Space Vampire's glider has a jet on it. 15,400. Look at these clouds. Let's see. We got Space Vampire. Oh, there he is below me. He's at 10,000. Oh, I need to turn back because I don't want to start the task yet. Task start line is this orange line here in front of me. So I'm gonna wait for Space Vampire to get up to my altitude, and then we can start the task together. It'll be more fun that way. Excuse me. Had a big bike ride this morning, so I'm a little tired again, of course. It's pretty nutty out there in the wind. Made for a tough day. Actually, since I'm waiting for Space Vampire, maybe I'll go get a slightly caffeinated beverage. Gotta keep the energy up for the flight, you know? He's at 11,000, so he's not too far behind. Alright, I'm just going to pause it. And I'll be right back. Okay. Don't want to get water rings on my new desk. What do we got here? We're drinking yerba acai blueberry. 100 milligrams of caffeine, 0 calories. Caffeinated sparkling water. Give this a try. Smells like blueberry. Yep, tastes like blueberry sparkling water. Alright, where's Space Vampire at? How you doing, Space? Still below me. He took off after me. Sounds like I'm back in the lift here. It's not really possible to thermal from the external cam. It's really, really difficult. $15,600 feet. I'm looking for Space Vampire here. Yeah, I'm sure I could start the task ahead of him, and he would catch up to me and pass me because, you know, I suck, but, plus he's got that jet engine on there. He can just fire that thing up. Oh, there he is below me. I see his lights now. Looks like he's circling in the same lift that I am, which is cool. 16,000 feet. So remember, we got a soft ceiling at 18,000. And I say soft ceiling because it's just kind of a gentleman's agreement not to go over 18,000. But if you go over by, you know, a little bit, like a couple hundred feet here and there, because you lose track or the thermal's really good, and you leave it like 17,000, but by the time you get to the other side of the thermal, you're at 18.5. You know, what are you going to do? So, in real life, IRL, 18,000 is the Class Alpha airspace in the U.S., and I kind of assume a lot of other countries. And you're not allowed to fly in Class Alpha airspace unless you have permission from air traffic control. And there are some places where you can get permission in gliders, but I'm pretty sure not here. We're in the Owens Valley, a couple hundred miles north of LA, California High Desert. We're gonna go check out Yosemite National Park, hit a few landmarks on the way there, and check out this custom scenery. See how that looks. I haven't installed any custom sceneries before. Now I see Space Vampire's altitude at 12,000, so kind of makes me suspect that he's having some trouble climbing, because I'm expecting to be a bit higher than that by now. I'm at 16.6, and I'm pretty sure this lift would get me to maybe 18,000 or higher. So I'll try to my best to abide by the rules and not go over 18. I kind of wish my desk setup. I could probably figure this out. I'm sitting like upright, like at a desk with your legs kind of straight down and the rudder pedal is down there below me. This is maybe like a general aviation aircraft kind of. Oh, I started the task accidentally. Whoops. I drifted across the start line. Sorry, Space Vampire, I gotta go. I hit the start line. You'll catch up. Whoops-a-daisy. I knew I was gonna drift downwind into that too. I just didn't. Lost track of what I was doing. I was talking about stuff. Anyways. Task navigation. There we go. 46.7 miles to Waltz Point. Ooh, I got crazy slow coming out of that cloud there. 16,600 feet. We'll speed up here. We'll dial it in to fly 100 knots. And actually, oh yeah, and I didn't want to set my McCready. My digital McCready, and increase that until I see speed to fly 100 knots. So it's really not actually. Oh, you know what? We should do. No, never mind. I'll just leave it at 100 for right now. There's different strategies for how you use that feature setting. So it's telling me if I fly 100 knots, I got 44.7 nautical miles to Waltz Point, and I will arrive there 1500 AGL, which should be plenty. And we've got big clouds along the way, so we'll have some lift to to help us out. Space Vampire 12,800. Oh, he'll catch up to me when I stop for a piss break here. I'm drinking this sparkling water, which is gonna make me piss, so give it 30 minutes or so. And I gotta take a picture. My new desk setup here is set up in racing mode, in sim mode. Oh, jeez, I just closed all that stuff. Whoops a daisy. What's the task? Accidentally closed a bunch of things that I didn't want to close. Whoops, daisy. Creator dashboard. I have a Google Keep note. Use Google Keep for notes. I have a Google Keep notes with links to all my various music and other assets and downloads and things that I might need for the stream. I use that as my little spot there, but I accidentally just closed it, so now we're back. Coming through this cloud here, 14,800 feet. I'm gonna trim that about 100 knots here. Might be a little fast, a little slow. Let's see. That's pretty good. Whoa, lumpy coming through here. Whoa, there's some turbulence and massive sink in that cloud. Yikes. Oh, there's some lift. Slow down in the lift. Super strong lift. $15 knots. Yeah, that's an Owens Valley lift. $15,200 feet. See if I can keep like my left wing out of the cloud. The rest of the glider in the cloud. Nope. I'll speed back up then. Lift's gone, so speed back up. Now we can see the mountain range really well here. These are the eastern Sierra Nevada mountain range. Kind of off my flight path a little bit, but I was just kind of want to get up over the mountains here. Got kind of a nice bunch of clouds to fly along underneath. Let's see, where are we at now? Showing 29.8 miles. Arrival AGL 18,000. See if we can get a little bit of lift coming through these clouds here. 14,400 feet. Some massive sink and turbulence in these clouds. That was funny. I had my phone sitting on my leg right here, on my thigh, and I went through that turbulence and I got a sensation like my phone was about to slip off, and I don't know if you noticed that, and I like grabbed it really quickly. Pretty immersive here. My new setup here, more surround the monitors. Gotta get 2 new side panel monitors. Anybody wants to buy some monitors, let me know. I want to sell these small ones, get 2 bigger ones. Got a couple of monitors. I also got a 3080 for sale. I'm gonna post this up here. A little bit of lift. Bit of lift there. I should have slowed down a little bit more in, but well, maybe not. We're racing today. We need to fly quickly here. And so now, yeah, it looks like my heading. Changed my heading a little bit to the right here, and there's a big dark cloud here. So I'll head for that cloud. Yeah, that'll be right on my flight path. How's Space Vampire doing back there? Is he started yet? Oh, I got Rocket Glider down. Super low, 4,900. Welcome in, Rocket Glider. Space Vampire, I see him up there. It's kind of hard to see because it gets mixed in with all the other gamer tags. So much other air traffic. A little bit of lift there. Just pull the stick back just a bit. See if we get some more. It's showing a 16 knot tailwind now, 13,400 feet. Lancha Strip Airport down here on the right. Yeah, I think that lift's not worth slowing down in. But I think in this cloud right here on my left here, try this one. Thinking I'll skip this big cloud and I'll go from this one to that one. Slow down a bit, didn't mean to do that. Kind of, sometimes I can't help but pull back on the stick a little, you know? Especially when it's bumpy like that. Alright, come on, coming up under this cloud. I mean, I don't need altitude to get to the next turn point, so I'll just porpoise fly in it. Slow down a bit. But I will need altitude to finish the task, so... Yep, right up underneath here. Not very strong. Is that it? A little bit more. 13,500 feet. Definitely don't want to spend time circling in that lift, since I know there's lift as strong as 15 knots or so. It'd be really a waste of time to circle and lift as light as this, unless you need to, unless you're low and you have no choice but to circle in whatever lift you can. But I'm nowhere near low right now, 13,600. I will need to be much higher. Gotta fly over Mount Whitney, which is the tallest mountain in the continental US at 14,400 feet. Alright, I think that's all she wrote there. Yeah, that probably would have been a better cloud to fly under. Much bigger and darker. Probably stronger lift there. Well, let's just push on. Space Vampire will probably hit it and catch up to me. I see those two guys there. With sync here. Definitely want to speed up in the sync. This is kind of bumpy here. Lift sync, lift sync. Cool looking peak off on the left there. Ooh, man. Yeah, that's some bumpy air here today. Ooh. Alright, coming up under this cloud here. Let's see if we get something. Eight knots. Anything stronger than that? It's bumpy. There we go. There it is. 10, 11 knots. 12 knots. We'll circle here. 13,800 feet. Try not to spend any time circling and lift that's, less than 9 knots or so. This is some good stuff. Rocket glider's just kind of down there, just skirting along the along the foothills of the mountains there. I wonder if he knows something I don't. You don't need to be that high. Well, you do need to be high because you're going to have to get to Mount Whitney, which is at 14,000 feet. Can't remember what... I did put it somewhat of a big radius around it, so you don't have to be exactly over the top of it. But you will need to get higher than that. And then we're going to fly, in order to cross the mountains into Yosemite, you're going to need to be stinking high. A lot of 14,000 foot peaks back there, a lot of high altitude, a lot of very rugged terrain, nowhere to land. And I'm pretty sure I flew on the downwind side out of the thermal. (14,800 feet). Tighten up the circle here on the downwind side. Now when I get the upwind side, I'll flatten it out because I've been falling out of the downwind side of it, which I've been doing a lot lately. Yep, and I go upwind. There's the strong lift. There's the 10, 11 knots. That's what I want to try to circle in. Space Vampire down to 9,000. Moving along there. Do you guys notice that I turn my head? Like, I can't help but, like, sometimes I turn my head when I'm flying. It's like people when they're playing games with the controller, they like turn the controller. Like, no, you don't have to do that. Just kind of get, you know, it's drawn in. $15,700. I'm on the downwind side of it again. Well, Rocket Gliders, he's like almost caught up to me horizontally here, but I'm well above him. Let's see what his strategy is here. Maybe we'll see what he's... Like, you know, look at it and it's like, what are you doing down there, you fool? But kind of assuming that, no, I'm the fool. And I'm like, what does he know that I doesn't know that he's all the way down there? He's gonna just zoom in underneath me and hit one big booming thermal, and then just blast the rest of the course. That's what I think is gonna happen. So I'm gonna keep an eye on him. I think he's being sneaky down there. Being sneaky. I think he also has a motor on his glider too, so I don't trust these guys with motors, whether they're self-launched gliders. I have no such safety net. Now I did a couple of turns in light lift here. I need to either be in the strong lift or leave. 16,000 feet. Yeah, the strong lift is all upwind of me, or down, yeah, upwind of me. I keep falling out on the downwind side. So there, I think I went out the upwind side of it. Not doing a very good job connecting with that strong lift here. Let's make one more pass at it. 16,700 feet is still pretty stinking high. I think these guys are coming towards the thermal that I'm in. There's Space Vampire. 7800. And just ahead of him here is Rocket Glider. That's 6,100 feet. Now I'm showing a 20 knot tailwind, altitude 17,150 feet. All right, let's move on. These guys are catching up to me and making me nervous. Can't have that. Let's try and play it a little bit cool with the rules too here and not fly directly through the cloud. Just kind of go around it, fly a little bit through it. And that's like a real life rule, not a sim rule. I'm okay with like a certain level of realism, right? I don't need to be like, you know, Mr. Super Realistic. Ooh, that was rough. I have the aircraft damage turned off because I kept braking it doing aerobatics, so. Alright, let's trim her down here to 100 knots. And push on. Just 10 miles to Waltz Point. There off on my right is the famous Owens Lake, which sim shows a lot of water in there. Rocket glider down below me there, 5,900. The Owens Lake was a big lake, but I believe as it goes, the city of LA, Los Angeles, to the county of LA County Water District owns like almost all this land up here in the valley, and they drained the lake for you know, water for LA County. And then at the bottom of the lake, when it dried out, it started releasing like carcinogens into the air. South winds come blowing up through this valley, and people in like Lone Pine and Bishop and Independence that live in these towns here were having respiratory issues, I believe. Lawsuits are involved, and now they're forced to keep it partially flooded, which is why it's patchy like that. Obviously man-made, you know, individual reservoirs and not a natural lake anymore. There's a lot of very interesting geography, geology, history up here in the Owens Valley. This is one of my favorite places in the world. I've flown a hang glider here in real life several times. I've done some epic bike riding up here. There's some absolutely incredible mountain roads to ride, paved roads. I've come up here for astronomy. It's very, very remote, very dark skies. Up in the mountains, you have less atmosphere to look through. It's very great for astronomy. There's so much cool stuff up here. This town of Lone Pine that we're coming up on here is famous for Lone Pine in these hills. These are called the Alabama Hills. Famous for old Western movies, actually. They used to film like all or a whole bunch of the, you know, like the spaghetti westerns, they call them, right? Film those here. And then more modern movies also. Okay, now we're coming up on, this is Horseshoe Meadows Road here. It looks like a dirt road. It is paved. And right up over here is Waltz Point. That is the hang glider launch. So it's the go-to spot for flying hang gliders up here, which is also our first turn point, just 2.6 miles, about 16,100 feet, which is a very realistic altitude in the Owens Valley here. This is kind of the sort of unofficial start, the unofficial south end of the Owens Valley. And I accidentally sped up a little bit there, didn't mean to do that. So Waltz Point just below me. Horseshoe Meadows Road is astonishing mountain road. It's phenomenally gigantic switchbacks just cut into the face of the mountain. As we fly away from it here, I think I'll get a better view of it. Can't really see it that well above. And I'm going to fly through the cylinder right now. Waltz Point, okay. Alright, and we have 11 miles to Mount Whitney. We'll go fly over Mount Whitney. There you can see the switchbacks. Waltz Point. Rocket glider down there. He's just cruising along at 57. I don't know if he knows you have to climb to get up to Mount Whitney. You might think he's clever staying down low there and doesn't realize that he has to get up over the top of it. And then you will have to get up to get into Yosemite. Space Vampire 11,000, so it looks like he stopped to get some gas. Stop the gas up. A lot of people flying like Northern California here today. Somebody at Kit Fox, somebody at Dark Star. And I'm going to slow down. And I think I'm actually going to veer. Yeah, let me head in underneath this cloud. Computer is telling me 8.4 miles arrival, 1,000 AGL. Not a whole lot of margin there. And let me see if I can go get a little bit of lift under this cloud. So some rugged high terrain. That is Mount Whitney right there. Which again, I'm kind of disappointed with the scenery in the game because all this is kind of smoothed over. Should be a bit more, quite a bit more jaggedy in real life. Should be quite a bit more jaggedy. And this is with the detail setting turned all the way up. So this is not a very dense cloud. This may not have been a great move here. Too bad. Kind of breaking my rule of not wanting to turn in sort of mediocre a lift. But I'm playing this one a little bit conservative here. Because I know I've got to get in over some high terrain. I think that didn't do me any good at all. Owens Valley is notorious for very strong conditions, turbulence, and just all around big air, as we call it. Alright, let's get out of here. I improved my numbers a little bit. Now it's showing plus 1,500 feet. I do got to be pretty close to it here, right? But not that big of a circle. And once I hit Mount Whitney, then I've kind of got a decision to make. Because the next spot is Mammoth Mountain, and a straight shot will take me over the high terrain. There could be some difficult crossings, somewhat dangerous, and you could get down in get down in some valleys that you get stuck in and can't get out. So I have that, or I could kind of stay along the edge here, right along the Eastern Sierra, along this range. Lots of clouds here, so kind of go out and around it. And I'll show you what I mean on the map in a minute once I tag this turn point. a pretty good energy drink. I like that. 100 milligrams of caffeine is pretty, kind of modest too. It's not super, not like a, some of these energy drinks can just have so much caffeine. 200 or 300, like a freaking Monster or something. We are up here. Coming up on Mount Whitney here now. Just 3.5 miles out. 15,600 feet. We'll kind of be right out front and over the top of it. The town of Lone Pine off on my right. A little bit of lift there, just kind of slow down in it. Getting like a lot of kind of ridge lift up in here. It's just weird. Yeah, this should be like 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like really jaggedy peaks here, and it's not. That could use a custom scenery. Be nice to have that a little bit more detailed. Should hit it no problem. Yep, I hit the turn point. So that would be, yeah, you can see the little building up there. Yeah, there's a little lodge. Alright, on our way to Mammoth Mountain. And I think I'm gonna head for this big dark cloud there. But I think that's also a good opportunity to pause and go for a ballast drop. Alright guys, I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, let's get back at it. A little pee break will give these guys a chance to catch up to me. Let's take a look and see where they are. See if we can see here. Space Vampire looks like he's got some good altitude now. And I don't know where Rocket Glider went. He might have crashed into the side. Oh no, he's in front of me. He definitely wouldn't have got the turn point down there. but okay. Let's take a look at the task. Remind you guys where we're at, what we're doing. 400 or 304 or 301 miles here. Just remembering yesterday. Just tag Waltz and Mount Whitney, and then we've got a long leg here to Mammoth Lakes or Mammoth Mountain. Flying in over the eastern Sierras, pretty epic. Agent Presto, what's up, brother? Thanks for stopping by. Racer's going good. Although I'm not flying as fast as I should be. A lot of lift over these mountains. Agent Presto was flying the Dark Star earlier today. Tuned into his stream. And he took off. And I had to bounce for a little bit, just took a quick shower and microwave some food, and I come back and he'd already landed. Coast to coast flight in like 30 minutes in that thing. It's pretty nuts. How many contestants am I winning? I got 2 other guys flying here with me, and well, one guy for sure didn't hit the Mount Whitney turn point, so he's unless he goes back and get it, he's disqualified. And then we got Space Vampire here, quite a ways back from me. It's a this type of racing is really a individual time trial, even though we sort of fly together. So right now my task time is 37 minutes. So we'll, you know, at the end we'll sort of compare our times. And your time starts when you cross the start line and ends when you cross the finish line, right? So we didn't necessarily all start at the exact same time. Need to get a little potassium in me here. I'm flying a little bit slower than I should be here, but just kind of playing a little conservative over these very rugged terrain. I'm headed for this dark cloud. That's going to get me up. Gonna need a lot of altitude here. I'm at 15,000. It's going to tag Mammoth Mountain, and then we got to head kind of northwest across the Sierras and into to get to Yosemite. And it's a lot of tall, remote, rugged terrain to cross in there, so we'll need a lot of altitude. Fixing dinner and just got off the bike trainer. All right, good for you. Glad that you're getting a little winter exercise in. I'm gonna have to get the trainer out this week because we got more rain coming in SoCal this week. And usually, fortunately, we don't need the trainer that many days in SoCal, but sometimes. Been a pretty wet winter so far, which is good because, you know, we always need the rain. There's one thing you hear, a phrase you hear in LA all the time, it's, well, we need the rain. And it's always true. All right, let's slow down here, coming up underneath the, underneath this cloud. Oh yeah. Tomorrow looks good. Weather looks fine tomorrow. So I'll go for a good ride tomorrow. I went down this morning. Let me just try to find this lift here. 15,000 feet. Wow, lumpy. Oh, there we go. Maybe. It's been turbulent here. It's been rough. There we go. That's what we want to see. 7, 8, 9 knots. Could do better than that, but this is a tricky, it's a bumpy one. I'm gonna be kind of in and out of this lift, I'm pretty sure. Chunky lift, inconsistent, broken up here. In it and out of it. Whoa. Oh, this is pretty nasty. Got right mind to get out of here. There's a strong lift here. Let me see if I can turn back here and get a little bit more. 15,200 feet. No, this is just kicking my ass. Yeah, I'm just gonna bounce on this. This is not working too well. Yeah, I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, not liking that. So yeah, Agent President went down this morning to the down to the beach, down to Long Beach, and there's an annual huge bike ride on January 1st. It brings out like, I mean, when a crowd is so big, it's hard to estimate, but you know, I don't know, 300 or 400 cyclists. Most of them, you know, high-level athletes, and we just go bombing down PCH, and we had, which is crazy enough, that big of a group, but that big of a group going super fast, and we had a wicked strong cross tailwind, which means that the peloton ends up echeloning, riding diagonally across the road. So we're taking up the whole frickin', you know, PCH. Like in some places, like 3 lanes wide, but we're taking up the whole road because you can't help it. Like that's just how it naturally goes, which is kind of nutty because some cars get annoyed. And also the roads are wet. It was, yeah, it was pretty nutty. And it's a big ride. They go all the way down to Dana Point and back. It's like 90 miles. But I got about 20 miles into it, and I bailed because if you go all the way, you go 45 miles down with a tailwind, then you got to turn around and come back into that headwind, and I'm like, this is gonna be a miserable day. So I just turned around and said, I'm done with this. Still ended up riding with 2.5 hours or something like that. And it was a pretty good day. Pretty good for what it was. Now I'm getting my ass kicked in these mountains here. Let's see. Yeah, it's a crazy big group. And those kind of speeds, I mean, you're going race speeds. So, I mean, we were going 35, 37 miles per hour in some spots. And, you know, it could be, yeah. I mean, if you go down at those speeds, I mean, that's, you know, you're breaking bones. I don't want that. Getting a lot of just sort of mechanical lift coming up off of these peaks here. But I'm not flying very fast. Where's Space Vampire at here? Oh, he's down kind of low. Yeah, down 8,000. Does that cause traffic problems, having a group that size taking up the road? Well, for people in the cars, it does. Yeah, they get a little frustrated. Yeah, I don't. If it was, calm wind or no wind or just light winds, the group wouldn't be taking up the whole road. It really just is because of the wind. So, there's kind of nothing you can do about it. And the group just naturally, these echelons, they call it echelons. Instead of riding in a straight line, everyone rides in a diagonal path, because if the wind's coming from the side, the draft is actually off to the side and not directly behind the rider in front of you. So you just can't help but naturally find that draft. And so yeah, the only thing you can do is just not participate. So it was kind of another reason why I kind of left, because I'm like, this is kind of lame to be doing this. But if the winds are light, then everyone would stay to the right. But so yeah, let's speed up here. These guys are just staying along the front. I spent a lot of time flying slow there, but also I'm not seeing a lot of broken up clouds and nothing really good. Some up here, maybe that's some good cloud to climb in. And we'll try that. I'm gonna dial it back up to 100 knots here. Flying too slow. But yeah, so I'm heading out, like, I'm not on the optimal flight path, but it's not much I think this is a better route. So kind of along this green line here is the mountain range, right? Just this edge. So instead of going over the tall peaks, I'm kind of going around. Also, there's a big blue hole there. There's no obvious clouds or thermals in there. And then flying here, if you start to sink out, you can bail off to the right, head down into the valley. There's airports, there's fields and roads to land on down there. So let's see, straight up ahead here, I've seen a nice dark shadow. Kind of a bunch of clouds. Let's see if we can climb there. It's been really turbulent over these peaks here too. It's getting bounced around. Showing 50 miles to Mammoth. Showing my arrival altitude minus 2,000 feet, so I definitely need to climb to get there. I'm at 14,000 feet. Nope, I got baited into that one. Don't turn in that. All the lift that I've been finding over these peaks here has been really rough. See here, hold on, I think I'm being summoned for some Call of Duty. Might have to do that after this flight. cool lakes up in here. Wow, it's nasty in here, man. This is how it can be in real life. We can get some nasty conditions up over here. But lots of lift. Keeping me in the game for 14,200 feet. Let's see, I got a big cloud there. That was a good thermal producing looking cloud. But this one's kind of more on my flight path. And actually, what I'm in right now. See if we can turn in this. There we go. So there's 10 knots. $14,700 feet. Whoa, sink, lift, lift. This is a gnarly one, boys. Just getting spanked around here. 15,000 feet though. Space Vampire out front and down pretty low. Whoa. Just keep flying through a frickin' pothole there. Fly upwind a little bit here of it. Yeah, I'm showing positive altitude on the next turn point now. That's good. 15,500 feet. There we go. Didn't hit that pothole that time. Let's just be above it, where I was in a little bit of rotor. 16,000 feet. This lift isn't as strong as I had earlier, but it's consistent enough. I'll go ahead and stick with it. See if we can get to 17 or 18,000 here. That was lumpy. Whoa, sink. There's still wicked turbulence out here. See, 16,400 feet. Lift is starting to get broken up here on me, so I think I'm just gonna bail on it. Not the strongest lift, and it starts to get broken up like that. Let's just get out of here. We'll find some more consistent lift later that we can climb in more efficiently. Start heading right towards Mammoth here. 16,380 feet, 390. So I'm gonna point the nose down, get the trim set, get her back up to 100 knots. The computer shows me getting there with 43 miles, shows me there plus 1,200 AGL. See if we can catch up the rocket glider here. That was a little bit fast. Alright, back on track here. Let's get a task update. If you guys are joining late or haven't seen, here's the task today. We're flying along the Sierras in California. And we're going to end up in Nevada, actually. Started down here in Yosemite, 301.4 miles to the northwest a little bit. On my way to Mammoth Mountain right now, and then we're going to go over and tag Yosemite. Then we're going to come back out and then to the north to Minden. Flying from one real-world glider airport to another real-world glider airport. Got the town of Bishop off on my right. That's one of my favorite places. Very nice little town. Great place to stay if you're up in the Owens Valley for some outdoor activities like flying or bike riding or fishing or hiking or camping or astronomy or I don't know, whatever else you want to do that's outdoors. It's going to be awesome up here. Just driving up through here is really incredible. Highway 395 goes right up the middle of the valley here and eventually goes right by Mammoth, where we're headed right now. And I'm going to head for this big dark cloud. A little bit off my ideal heading. This keeps me over the edge of the mountain, so I can always bail off to the right if I start to sink out. I don't think that's a problem today. Rocket glider's just been flying along the right along the face low. Hasn't been getting high. I don't know what his strategy there is, but he would not have made the Waltz Point or Mount Whitney turn points at that altitude because it had been closer to it. There's a mountain in the way. So maybe he's just kind of following the path and not really flying the task. Let's see. Space Vampire looks like he's back up. He was down low. He was getting kind of low. Yeah, 10,800 feet. So he's getting back up there. I've been doing good. I've been staying high all day. Bishop over there on my right. Head for this dark cloud here. (15,100 feet). Rocket glider's way out in front of me. He's just been flying super fast along the front of here. He's flying the AS-33ME. This big dark cloud is really several smaller dark clouds. See if there's lift underneath them. So yeah, my computer is telling me 30 miles to Mammoth and being in there plus 1400 AGL, but I gotta cross some pretty tall mountains here, so... or go out and around them, which is kind of the direction Rocket Glider is headed. It'd be better to fly straight to them, be faster, but not quite high enough for that. See if we can find a strong lift, strong thermal here. If not, I'll just fly slow through this light lift. Not a whole lot there. We'll speed up. I think I can kind of skirt, kind of sort of aim for over here. Well, I'll fly straight, and if I start to get low, then I can always veer to the right and go around it, right? So, which is still not the ideal flight path. Ideal flight path, or a straight line flight path, is more like through here. Well, you know what? I can do that. I can make it over this ridge. If I can't make it over the next one, then I can sort of bail to the right. So let's take a little bit of a chance. Fly a little bit closer in. Getting a lot of this like mechanical lift coming up off of these ridges here, so that might keep me in the game. Woo. I just like to check on a few things here. That looks like that's going. See if I can catch up the rocket glider by taking a direct route across these peaks here. He went around. So let's see. Yeah, I'm feeling more confident I can get over these ridges here now. Excuse me. Gotta slow down a bit here too. I'm only doing about 85 knots. Make sure I can get over these peaks, these ridges. Once we hit the Mammoth, we'll need to climb big time. So we have a lot of this kind of tall stuff to cross. But look at, there's a big dark cloud right along the way there. So that may be no problem. Seeing rocket glider now 9,400 feet. That's the highest I've seen him today. Somebody up there in a Kit Fox, somebody up there in a Vision Jet. A couple of guys off on my left. There's a lot of people doing flying in the sim today. Hey, Sparky Pilot 86. What's going on? Did you go fly today, real life flying? I think you said you were going to take the Cessna out today. We are flying up here in the Sierras, my favorite part of the world. Take a little bit of a break from the Andes flying. A whole bunch of lakes up here. Give me 1 second here. I'll show you the task for today. We'll be flying Tuesday. Got it. Very cool. Right, that's right. Yeah, that's what you said. Did some sim flying today. Always good. Turbulent here. A little bumpy. Kind of some tricky terrain. Alright, coming up under this cloud, I'm gonna want to stop and get some gas there if I can. But I'll show you where we're at. Let me show you the other map here. I like this map. We're doing 301 miles in the Eastern Sierra, California. This is my favorite place in the world. Took off down here in Inyokarn, and we're gonna end up at near Lake Tahoe, Minden Airport, just outside of Lake Tahoe. And we're gonna make a little trip to Yosemite. I installed the Yosemite custom scenery that's on flightsim.to. It's a free download. I was rather disappointed in the stock scenery that's in the game the last time I flew through here. So we thought we'd check it out today. And it's quite turbulent over these mountains in the Sierras, which is very realistic. This is a gnarly place to fly. Let's see if I can work some lift under this cloud here. It looks a little... It's kind of two clouds. There's like a light one and a dark one. So we'll see if there's something that's consistent enough to climb in. At 14,300 feet. My flight computer tells me I have no problem getting to Mammoth. But I'm gonna need to cross a lot of these tall snow-capped jaggedy peaks to get over to Yosemite, so gonna need more altitude than that. Just slow down here and look for that center part of the lift. Not really there. Here we go. Nope. Well, there was lift under there, but let me just kind of fly. There we go. It's just a little off to my left, maybe. 8, 9, 10 knots. There we go. That's what we were looking for. That nice 10-knot climb that we've been getting. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Let's see if we can stay with that. 14,800 feet. See if we can get up to 18,000. Haven't got that high yet today. 14 knots. Here, this is a massive thermal. flew out of the downwind side of it there. So I tighten up my turn and get back into it. And I'll flatten out a little bit, the turn a little bit as we head upwind. Oh, somebody flying the Concorde up there. That's super cool. That would be really neat to check out in the sim, I think. I imagine that being quite technical of an aircraft to fly. And a strong lift here. I've been having trouble staying centered in the strongest part of the lift. Which really just means I'm not climbing as efficiently as I could. Or as quickly as I could. 16,300 feet. We're gonna go check out this Yosemite custom scenery, but it really might be kind of lame because we might be really high when we get there and not really able to see much. I mean, we could dive down and, you know, fly through it, but then we'd have to climb back up to get out of there, so that might not be a great idea. Just listen to the sound of the Vario, guys. Up we go. 17,000 feet. Gonna stop climbing at 18,000. I kind of decided, especially because we're racing today, that we should do this legally, which would mean stay out of the Class Alpha airspace, 18,000 feet. There are some parts of the country where you can get permission to fly in the Class Alpha, but I don't think you can do that here. Unless you had some special waiver from the FAA ahead of time or something. I think there's just too much air traffic in general in this area, flying in and out of like the Bay Area or SoCal. Plus there's military operations near here. Yeah, it's a busy airspace, so I think mostly they would just be like, no, don't fly there. 17,500, so probably just complete this turn and then call it good. Yeah, let's just push on here. Pretty good, 17,600 feet. That's pretty freaking stinking high. Pretty freaking stinking. Get some agua. And this type of altitude, not at all unrealistic for the Owens Valley. Regularly, big booming days can you get to 18,000 or higher. Alright, let's speed up there. Point the nose down, get the trim set to usually about -17, I find, on the trim. Elevator trim gets me cruising at 100 knots. Mammoth Yosemite Airport down there on my right. We won't be landing there today. That was a good climb. Pretty quick, pretty efficient, quick climb to get up. My instrument's now telling me only minus 6,000 feet at goal. So I'm making good progress. There's Mammoth Mountain right in front of me here. Just kind of one sort of lonesome peak here in the middle. Mammoth Lakes. You can see all the ski runs there. With all the rain we've been having in SoCal, that usually means there'll be lots of snow up there. IRL this time of year. So we should have good altitude to get to Mammoth and Yosemite, but then coming back out of there could be a thing. Let's see, I lost track of Rocket Glider. Where'd he end up? I mean, he was in front of me, but he's gonna need to climb to get to Yosemite, and I didn't see him climbing. Space Vampire back there, 11,600. I think he's been struggling today. He doesn't seem to, I haven't seen him getting much higher than that. Sometimes that's how it goes. I've been doing great. I've been having a great flight. I've been able to stay high the whole time and fly fast. Let's see, my task time right now is showing 1 hour 17 minutes. There's the town of Mammoth just in front of me below. That is a super awesome part of the country to visit. Although I don't do winter, so I'm not going up there now. In summertime, I'll go there. Alright, now I got a big turn radius here. I don't need to fly directly over Mammoth Mountain, so I'm going to make this turn a little bit wider. Rocket Glider not with you anymore. Got it. No worries, brother. Thanks for flying that portion that you did. Thanks for the first time chat. It looked like you were just skirting along the front, down low, the foothills down there. And Mammoth Mountain. The city of Mammoth. What a cool spot that is. Landed and feeding cats. Got it. Yes. Don't let those cats go unfed. They'll let you know, I'm sure. He must have landed down there in Mammoth. The airport back behind me. Alright, so let's see. Yosemite, it's showing me 33 miles, arrival altitude 8,000 AGL. Oh, that is misleading. Surfing the mountainside. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, you definitely can do that. And surprising, even in, well, assuming you were using the same weather preset, we had wind out of the south, so I guess you kind of get a little bit of ridge lift on the upwind side of every one of those ridges. But obviously that would be better in a east wind for that ridge, that range. So yeah, it's telling me 8,000 AGL arrival altitude. However, did I set this? Let me see, because if I set that to down in the valley, that could be... Yeah, so that's 8,000 over the Merced River. That's the bottom of the valley. So that's like another, like probably 2,000 feet lower than the actual mountains around it in that area. Somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 feet. So really, my arrival AGL, I should consider that to be like 4,000. Not super high, considering I have to get in and out of there. So, but lots of clouds here. I'm sure we can find something up ahead. Porpoising up and down, yeah. Yeah, that's something that's kind of new to me because I haven't flown. And thank you for the follow, sir. Porpoise flying like that is something that is kind of new to me because my real life flying experience is flying hang gliders, and I mean you can sort of porpoise fly, but not nearly to the same effectiveness as in a sailplane. And so we're just spend all our time thermaling, and that's what's fun to me. I love climbing in thermals, finding the thermals and cranking in the lift and up you go. That's what's interesting to me, and that's kind of what interesting difference between. I have to keep the speed up, right? Interesting to me difference between the performance difference between a hang glider and a sailplane like this. It's like with a sailplane, you spend a lot more time gliding and a lot less time thermaling. And with a hang glider, it's the opposite, a lot more time thermaling. And, I don't know about scary. No, that's scary. It depends on the conditions, right? If the lift is smooth, then hell yeah, you'll come in just scraping over the mountaintops. And, you can definitely do some fast ridge runs. But it's just less effective for flying cross country. A couple of squares of low resolution satellite data here. Lots of air traffic. Look at all the people flying today. Everywhere you look, there's somebody. Which is super duper cool. Rocket glider, do you fly in real life or just in the sim? Oh, we fly and race RC gliders. Wow, yeah. RC gliders is actually what got me interested in soaring in the first place. I used to, in like high school and college, build and fly RC airplanes. And at the time, it was before we had all the cool, it was before LiPo batteries and brushless motors were a thing. So we had, the little glow engines. And man, I sucked at tuning. I hate engines. I sucked at like tuning those things to get them to run right. Like my engine's always idled like crap, so the airplane would always, I couldn't like not taxi, right? Because the airplane would always, the RPM at idle was so high, like the airplane would always just go. So yeah, and they make a mess and they're noisy and loud, and I hate engines. And then one day my buddy was like, hey, let's go up to Temple Hill and go fly slope soaring. And so I went up there with him, and it was like, you just walk up to the edge of the hill and just throw the airplane. And it's like, holy crap. It's like, as long as the wind's blowing, you can literally just fly all day. You don't have to worry about tuning an engine or like, running out of fuel. It doesn't make noise, it doesn't blow that exhaust fuel all over you. You don't go home stinking like glow engine oil, two-stroke oil. And that was right when I realized that how cool soaring flight can be. So my daughter bought me 2 plane flights, and they're the extent of my real flying. Yeah, I got it. They let you fly it all except for the landing. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, glow fuel is nasty stuff. I'm sure it's crazy expensive now. I mean, I'm thinking like 20 years ago it was kind of expensive. And you had to have the like stupid like hand crank thing to pump the fuel into your fuel tank, and I don't think I would ever do that again. I really miss flying RC. I love flying RC airplanes. I love flying RC. I haven't been able to do that in a long time. But if I was going to get back into that, I certainly wouldn't do it with low fuel. Yeah, you know, the little stupid little... And then, of course, at some time the fuel line's going to pop off, and you're going to end up spraying freaking low fuel all over the place. I think I see Yosemite Valley here, guys. There's a big old hole in the... Yeah, there's Half Dome. There's a big old hole in the mountain here. So I set the turn point up to be on the far side of the valley so we can fly back and turn, and we have to come back, and so we'll be able to get a good look at it. Space Vampire back there. So Rocket, have you just been flying gliders in Microsoft Flight Sim, or have you been flying like in Condor or the other flight sim, or you've been flying gliders since for a while? I just started flying gliders in the sim when the when the new update dropped. See the valley here. Yeah, this looks much nicer than the stock scenery. Yeah, this does kind of almost make me want to come in here in a powered airplane like a Wilgo or a Kit Fox and just fly around. Oh, they had gliders in Flight Sim X. Got it. I did not know that. Yeah, Condor, like... I started flying gliders in here, and I'm like, oh, and like looking at how we can set up racing and stuff. And then, of course, I've had a few people tell me, they're like, oh, you should try Condor. It has like real, better flight physics and real, multiplayer racing and stuff like that. And I looked at like one video of it, dude, and I'm like, no, there's no way I would ever try that. The graphics are so dated. And I mean, like, I get it. Like, if you're like trying to really simulate a glider race, like if you're a competition pilot and you using it for training or practice, it's probably a better tool, right? But like, it just looks completely uninteresting. And I mean, like, the graphics are like, and I hate to be like a graphics snob, but like, dude, it's 2023, bro, and these things looks like a GameCube. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is absolutely incredible. This constantly blows me away. The graphics, the lighting, the sound. Got the headphones on, like hear the wind sound, like it's just so cool. Yeah. So no, there's no chance that I would ever mess around with Condor. I mean, unless they did a massive graphics update. We're getting in here over Yosemite. Beautiful, yeah, this looks really nice. Although you can really see where like the stock scenery and custom scenery, low resolution, high resolution, fly all over the world. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I have no idea what the scope of available flying geography is in Condor. Yeah, here we can fly, literally everywhere on the entire planet. Yeah, I could use a little bit of blending work, I think. Oh, that's Glacier Point down there. Yeah, you can see the little lodge at Glacier Point. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Red roof there too, yeah. Looks like Looks like Yosemite Falls is not rendered at all. There should be a big waterfall right there. And then there's, let's see. Yeah, there's Half Dome. And, so, okay, there's a couple of waterfalls. Are they moving? It's hard to tell. No, they're just fixed. Okay, that's too bad. It'd be cool if those waterfalls were flowing. That would be really amazing. But Half Dome looks incredible. That looks really great. Gotta pay attention to where I'm going. Beautiful. Yosemite El Capitan. Some glider hotspots are in Europe and East Asia. Well, I know about Europe. I don't know anything about East Asia. Interesting. Haven't done any flying there in the sim. Well, that's an area to explore. We haven't flown down in Australia yet. Haven't done any sim flying there. There's a lot of parts of the world we need to get to. Mostly, I've been focused on the Andes lately. But we'll wrap that up on Tuesday. Got just a couple miles here to this turn point. Oh, that's this is the parking spot they call Tunnel View right here. Oh yeah, there's a lot of nice detail there. You drive out of the tunnel right there. Ah, can't get it. I'll get it on the way out. And then you park there, and then that's where you get the classic tunnel view shot of Yosemite. Alright, almost gonna touch this turn point here, and then we flip it back around. Yosemite, okay. Now we need to find some lift. Oh, look at that cloud right there. Boy, I'm glad I installed that scenery. This is beautiful looking now. So much better than the stock. And we'll head for this cloud. Get a little bit of gas because we're going to need to climb and get up over this tall terrain here. 13,900 feet. So we definitely will need some altitude. But before I do that, I'm going to go and drop some ballast. Be back in a few minutes. Flights in the Czech Republic from Discord. Got it. Yeah, that sounds like a good place to check out. I'm down for that. Alright, I'll be back in a couple minutes. I'm going to really feed the cats this time. Oh, you didn't feed them before? Poor kitties. Happy New Year to you too, brother, and thanks for stopping by. I'm sure we'll see you around another time. Up here over Yosemite National Park, guys, and I got this custom scenery installed from flightsim.to. It's a free download, and it is a very worthwhile upgrade, I gotta say. Much improved over the stock scenery, which I was a little bit disappointed on. And, oh, I need to slow down here. On the upwind side of this cloud. See if I can find the thermal. Gonna need to climb 13,600 feet. And we've got to get up over a lot of 14,000 foot terrain, so going to need altitude. See if I can connect with something here. Well, I'm already at the base of this cloud, so it may not be much to have here. It's not a very dense one either. Yeah, not much there. Alright, let's point the nose in the direction of the task here. Take a look at our options for a lift. I wanna look at Yosemite. Some buoyant air along here. Looks like this dark cloud here is pretty close to my flight path. Yeah, let's head for that one. A little bit tricky here. I've got rising terrain as I head this direction, so I'm getting in deep to the mountains. So I want to slow down. Luckily, some buoyant air along the way. That's pretty nice. I'll take that. If I can get there and climb in it, then that'll get me, that'll probably be high enough to get me through here. Heading through to Lee Vining. I see Space Vampire over there at 12,000 feet, so he's doing a little better. Or he's up. He's having trouble climbing today, or he just purposely hasn't been climbing. Sometimes that happens. Or sometimes that's a good strategy. Don't necessarily need to be stinking high. But for this task you do, because you got to get up across some tall terrain here. Well, most of these peaks are in the 13,000 to 14,000 foot range, so... And it is rugged up here. There is no place to land. You would be in a world of hurt if you got low up here. Unless you had a valley or something you could kind of glide your way out of. Always sad when you're leaving Yosemite. Quite a magnificent place for sure. Where am I at here? 13,500 feet. Push in, try to get the upwind side of this dark cloud here. See if we can connect with the climb. If not, I may not have many more options. Certainly not high enough to continue on the course line to get out of here. Pretty decent lift, not super strong. That's lift that will definitely get me someplace. I'm gonna push on though to these darker clouds. Yeah, I bet we can get some stronger lift on one of these two guys here. If not, I can double back. That's what we were looking for. Yes, sir. 9 knots, 10 knots. Let's try some right-hand turns. We haven't been turning right-hand today. See if we can sync up with the strongest part of the lift. Still have a view of Yosemite here as we leave. Not a bad place to stop in thermal. 14,500 feet. There's the strong lift. Tighten up the turn a little bit there. $15,000 feet. Once we top this lift off, we'll update you guys on the task. If you joined later, you haven't seen what we're doing today. Pretty nice thermal, not as strong as the other stuff we've been getting, but it's been pretty smooth and well contained. $16,000 feet. $16,500? Yep. Doing great. Climbing right up the front side of this cloud. Staying out of the cloud. And flew downwind of the thermal there. I'm gonna take a look at my switch back to my navigation computer. There we go. So now it's showing me my task finish AGL has gone green, which means I have enough altitude to finish the task. However, not by a huge margin, and there's some very tall terrain to cross, and it's quite a ways from here still, so I'm gonna want more altitude if I can get it, but I'm just now about to pass 17,000, which is pretty stinking high. Alright, I'm gonna get a bunch of sync, so let's just go ahead and get back on course line. Headed towards Lee Vining now, 19.4 miles away. Oh, I just turned my pitot heat on just in case there's freezing going on up here. A little bit of lift as I head through this cloud here. Alright, now we want to speed up. We've got a pretty strong crosswind, a 12-knot crosswind. Bye, Yosemite. Yeah, my task finish altitude just dropped to 300, 400 feet, so it's not super confidence building here. We'll need a little bit more lift along the way. We'll get it. Alright, let's take a look at the task just to show you guys where we're at again. In the Sierra Nevada mountains in California. Started down here at Inyo Kern and headed up to Minden Tahoe Airport. I can just hear some lift as we just had Yosemite, now we're headed back across the mountains to Lee Vining. And then it's northeast to Minden. Huge lift there. That was that strong lift I was looking for. I'll just fly slow in it and kind of come through here. 17,200 feet. That's stinking high. Go through the cloud. Yeah. A little sleepy. Had a big bike ride this morning, you guys. So I'm a little worn out. There, I can see Mono Lake up ahead now, just on the other side of the mountains, and should have no problem getting across here from this altitude. And now it's telling me arrival altitude 1,700. So that is, particularly because we have a tailwind. So yeah, I think we're gonna fly this last leg really fast here. I'm not sure if the computer takes in the wind direction into account. I think it's just glide ratio to for the speed that you're flying. But we are headed across to Mono Lake and Lee Vining right now. Just left Yosemite. Always sad leaving Yosemite. But there's Half Dome. You can still see in the distance there. This area, definitely one of my favorite areas in the world to just be. A lot of rugged terrain up here. I'm flying the Discus 2C again. One of these days I'll try another glider. I said that yesterday while we were flying. Haven't done it yet. Just 11.5 miles to Lee Vining. Then we take a left turn and then we'll just blast into goal here. I think we'll be able to finish this one up pretty quick. Or we could go slow and go check out Lake Tahoe. But I think I want to just try to fly this one quickly. Alright, Space Vampire. He's looked like he's stuck around Mammoth. He's been having trouble. I haven't seen him above like 12,000 today. I wonder if he's running the same weather preset or if he's just not quite getting the lift that I'm getting. I've been regularly climbing 15,000, 16,000, no problem. So, bit of a mystery. I'll have to ask him later, I think. He has a hard time typing because he's in VR. Bring up the map here to see where we are in relation to Lee Vining. So I drifted way downwind of the course line because of the strong south wind. So now I kind of have to sort of penetrate partially into the headwind to get back here, but it's no problem. And that is, this road here is the Tioga Pass. Comes up there, yeah, it's right below me now. Yeah, right here. You drive up there by this lake, and then, yeah, the road goes through here. So that's like kind of like the back way into Yosemite, and it is a magnificent road to drive. I highly recommend that someday if you've never been there. Alright, 5.9 miles. Close to Mono Lake here. No problem getting back out of there. Lee Vining right in front of me. Tell him he can increase the wind a couple of knots and it will help him climb a little better. We are both using the same weather. Interesting. So if you heard that, Space Vampire, you can increase the wind a couple of knots, help you climb better. That may be the difference. The weather presets rocket, I have constantly issues with, at least with the first level wind, not remembering this setting. In fact, yeah, it says 4.6. It should be like 8. Can I communicate with him? If he's watching the Twitch stream, I can. He's not on Discord, so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's just a bug. Like it doesn't remember that wind setting, or it always changes to like half of the value I put in there. I don't know what the deal is. But the other wind levels like this, yeah, I set that to 15, I set that to 20, and I set that to 30. But this bottom one, the ground level, I always set, that is always not what I set it to, so I don't know what's up with that. Alright, 1.6 miles. There's an airport down there at Lee Vining you could land at if you had to. That's Highway 395 right down there, the road. Runs up there. So if you turn right and go south, it takes you back to Mammoth and then Bishop. You go left to the north and it takes you to Lake Tahoe. It takes you to Reno, which you could take to Lake Tahoe. Lee Vining, okay, left turn. And now we head north. We had 3 layers from 8 to 25 knots. Interesting. F-line Cody. I think that means that's the Kodiak. Alright, so the computer is telling me arrival altitude 1700. That's plenty high. Let's dial up the speed to fly setting here and oh, that's a little low. Alright, let's fly 109. Let's speed up. Although there's some rising terrain up ahead here too, so let's just try. Let's just try to let the computer tell me what to do. .106, 107. Ooh. Rocked around a little bit there. Alright, we're on final glide here, 63 miles. Headed into Minden. Trying to get it trimmed out at 109, 108 knots. Got no autopilot in the Discus 2C. Altitude 14,192. 61 miles to go. 1,000 feet. It's been an awesome flight. And if I don't make it over this taller terrain here, then we'll, yeah, we'll have to do some climbing. I think we will. Got a lot of people, it looks like they're flying around the Reno Tahoe area, which makes sense. That's an awesome area to fly. People flying in to go do some skiing up there, Lake Tahoe, this time of year. $2,900. Somebody in a Tomcat up there. I don't have that model installed. So I'm pretty sure that we're gonna do the world record flight attempt is gonna go down on Tuesday. It's coming Tuesday. I'm off work. It's supposed to rain all day, so we'll just be simming, flying and simming, going for 1,400 miles in the Andes. I think it can be done. It's gonna be an all-day effort, marathon effort. Gonna have to get some stock up on snacks, energy drinks. It's gonna be a task, that's for sure. We tried it a few weeks ago. Got pretty far. Didn't quite make it. We ran out of daylight, but had an amazing flight. It was really beautiful, especially at the end. Very memorable last hour or so of the flight. We were able to extend the flight by, I don't know, 60 miles or something like that, 60, 80 miles, by working some light ridge lift to get up and out of this valley area. There's an airport right below us, but there's like a wall. But we were able to work that light ridge lift to get up and get out of there, glide to the next airport. And we get to the next airport and we're like, well, can we glide to the next one? Yep. Worked a little bit more light lift. So in the glass off condition, so it does glass off in the sim, which was very cool. Super dug that. And then, yeah, so now we think, we tried that, we tried to do this flight with really just, I knew nothing. All I knew was, you know, approximately, well, I knew where they took off and where they landed. I didn't know, like, what time of day they flew or, like, conditions. So we just went for it. But now I know. Now we've got a lot more experience flying in that area about what it's going to take. And so we're going to take off a couple hours earlier in the morning. So we'll have 2 more hours of flight time. 2 more hours of daylight for flight time. And then we're going to, and then just have to be conscious about flying faster between thermals. I wasn't doing that at all. I was just kind of cruising. I wasn't flying fast at all between thermals. So it should be able to fly much, much faster. 51 miles out here. Our arrival altitude has gotten worse, showing 800, but there is some clouds straight ahead. See if I can just porpoise fly in those. Gain a little bit of altitude from them and a little bit of insurance for getting home. Flight time, task time is telling me 2 hours and 2 minutes. Well, maybe another 30 minutes left here to get home. A little less than that. 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Big dark cloud on my left. That would be a good one to go climb in. Slow down a little bit because I do need, I do kind of get it. I got to get up over this, this ridge here. $12,400 feet. Let me take a look at the task here. Oh, I think I'm past Bridge. Yeah, I just passed Bridgeport. Yeah, so there's some elevated terrain here to get over. See, I bet I can just porpoise fly if there's lift under here. Some lift there. Let's just slow down. Not very strong. There we go. A little stronger. There's some strong lift. Trying to milk this little bit of lift here, but not much to be had. But look, we got another dark cloud right ahead, right on the course line. Now it's showing me arriving at 2,000 AGL. That's plenty high enough. Let me know if there's not a mountain to get over, but I think I gotta get over this ridge and then, yeah, then to kind of this valley up over here. So I think I'll be good. And trim it back out to 100. Keep getting lift like this along the way, we'll make it no problem. Let's re-show you guys the task again. 301 miles here in the Sierras in California. Started out down here in Inyo Kern and flying all the way up to Minden, Tahoe, just east down the hill from Lake Tahoe. Made a little detour to go check out Yosemite, was the custom scenery available on the flightsim.to site. Very, very glad I installed that. Very much worthwhile because the stock scenery rather disappointing for how incredible Yosemite is. And now we're on final glide here, just 37.8 miles out. Not sure where Space Vampire is. Yep, he's still in the air. I think he was having trouble climbing. 10,700. Yeah, he's not. I haven't seen him over 12,000 all day. Flight time, I'm seeing 2 hours 8 minutes here. Yeah, maybe 20 minutes or so to finish this off. Showing my arrival altitude at plus 2,000, almost 2,000 AGL, which is plenty high enough. So I could drive it a lot faster, but I do have to get up over this terrain here. So I don't want to be too aggressive and then, you know, drive it into the ground. If I can't get over those ridges, I'll have to turn back and either find some lift and climb out again, or land, or crash. Don't like those last two options. There's some clouds there though, so I might be able to just porpoise fly in a little bit of lift. But I'm pretty sure I can glide over those. I can glide over this regardless of getting more lift. Plus I'm getting nice buoyant air here along the way. Nice little pushes. And my arrival altitude, yeah, that's reflected here. This number keeps improving. I'm showing 21, 22. Flying the Discus 2C again. Set my heading right for the goal line here. Yeah, I should get some lift for the shadows there on the ground. Yep. But I think I don't need it. Yeah, I just got to get over this ridge here. And if anything, I could just slow down a little bit to get up over there. And then I'm home free, I'm pretty sure. I wish Which little nav map had a topo map? I can see where I am on the map there. But I can kind of just get where that is, and yeah, coming up on Topaz Lake here, there's this mountain. But look, I can go around it too. Yeah. I don't even need to be. Yeah, okay, so here it's kind of high. That's Topaz Lake right there. Yeah, so I can get around it. I'm good. I'm gonna speed up. Still got my computer telling me 109 and arrival altitude 21. So, and I haven't been flying quite that fast. That task was way different than mine. Mine was all on the front of the ridge. Yeah, you must have loaded a different task then, or I don't know if that was on purpose, if that was intended. Because yeah, I saw you down there, and I'm like, oh, he's not nearly high enough to get the Mount Whitney turn point. Like he had to be at least 13,500, 14,000 to get that turn point, because it was just over Mount Whitney. And then we wanted to go into Yosemite to check out that custom scenery. I mean, I did. That's why I went there. Yeah, Rocket Glider. I do post the tests. I'm sorry. I kind of assumed that you'd seen that. I posted in the Discord server. In my Discord server. Yeah, you're a member of my Discord server. Designed by Dave's Thermal Smashers. I see you online right there, so yeah, I posted in the announcements section about date and time, and then there's a separate download section for the tasks. And I try to mirror. Sometimes I mirror them in the Got Gravel server, but not always. I kind of got home and kind of just rushed and put this one together today. Yeah, there's a little bit of lift right there. Boy, it sucks to fly through it. Just give it up, but that's all right. Oh no, not at all. Absolutely, join me, Rocket Glider. Yeah, for all or part or whatever. It's always more fun to have more people to fly with. Even if you don't have the weather synced or, whatever. If you can only fly for the first part or the second part. On Tuesday, I'm going to be flying all day. Tuesday, we're going to be trying to recreate the world record free distance flight in a glider. 1,400 miles down in the Andes. So if you could join for part of that, that would be great. If anything, just to help keep me company, because it's gonna be sitting here for 12 hours flying, but that should be a lot of fun. Should be an experience. I think we can do it. I think it's possible. And let's crank up the speed here. Oh yeah. No problem. That's a long way, yeah. Yeah, it's a long flight. So we tried it a couple weeks ago, and we got like 1,100 miles, flew 10.5 hours. It was really awesome. And the most memorable part of the flight was extending the glide at the end. We knew we weren't going to make it because the sun's setting, but it totally glassed off. And we were able to milk some light ridge lift, and get up out of this valley and then glide to the next airport, and then milk some more light lift and glide to the next airport. Sun is setting, absolutely beautiful, you know, looking scenery. 18 miles to go. We need to speed up here. I definitely have it. So yeah, Rocket, if you can join us on Tuesday, maybe I can join you after work. Yep. Yes, I'm on Pacific time. I will post details about that tonight on the Discord server. I'll try to get a task, although we don't really need a task, but the task is just nice to have the navigation, you know, just to kind of keep you on task. And see what I did there? And so yeah, I'll post that and info. So it should be a good time. $9,300 feet, and yeah, I need to speed the heck up. So just on the other side of those mountains there is Lake Tahoe, and it's kind of a shame to dive into Goal here and not get a view of Lake Tahoe because it's so beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous scenery up there. But we're racing today, so make sure I hit the finish line here. $10 miles in. Okay, now I think I need to start dumping the ballast. Let's do that. Takes a long time because I'm carrying a whole lot of ballast today. Now I can really put it on the red line. 8,300 feet. $8 miles out. $7 miles. Pretty sure I see the airport there. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the airport. There's the finish line showing up on the map now. Sport Flyer. Had to skip the waypoints as well and use the motor. Just couldn't get much in the way of good climbs. So that is crazy. And you're using the same You're using the same weather preset, right? Because, I mean, I had, like, no problem staying above, you know, or regularly getting up to 16,000 on this flight, so... Yeah, that's wild. I've got to stick almost all the way forward here, especially on this lift. Finishing at VNE. Oh, the Yosemite scenery is too much for your PC. Got very laggy. Ah, got it. That's a bummer. Little bumpy there, but I'm gonna finish strong here. Come on, don't do that, computer. 1.7 miles. There's the airport. Same preset. That's crazy, man. I can't believe that's. It's weird how you'd have that much trouble. I mean, that's how it goes in soaring flying, though. We've all been there. Somebody has to be the sacrifice on the day, right? And here we go. Task completed. 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 36 seconds. Let's go ahead and do a celebratory loop. Got a little slow over the top there. I end up putting a floor fan on my system when flying in the Alps. Rocket Glider, you could definitely build a computer that can handle the cooling on its own without a floor fan. So maybe you need a little, maybe you just need some better ventilation in your in your rig. Cool side view, yeah. Alright, I will set up for the beat up landing, which I'm plenty high for. It's hard to judge how far away you are. We'll go from here. I think this will do it. Oh yeah, that's the lineup right there. Woo, yeah, a little fast. A little above the red line. Oh, I love doing that. You're down. Shut up, Ariel. I can hear you. Oh, look at this lineup. There we go. We have spoilers. $80 knots slow way down here. Full spoilers. Spoilers all the way out. go. That's probably the closest I've ever been to the center line. Don't screw it up. Bumpy this runway here in Minden. Slow down a little bit. Boom! Successful flight. 2 hours, 23 minutes, 33 seconds task time. Down safe and sound. And looks like I was still dumping ballast. I'll just water the grass right here. Sneaky Boots, hey, what's up, brother? How are you doing? Hype, hype, hype. You know it. You know it. Clouds suck today. Thank you, Sport Flyer. Thank you, Sport Flyer. Yes. Let's see. Rocket Flyer. Rocket Glider. Alienware G13. So, Alienware R13. So, from what I understand, those Alienware cases are absolutely terrible at airflow. If it's the one I'm thinking of. So, yeah, I can see why you might need a Flora fan. And you said... same card as you. Is that the 3080? Because I just upgraded. I just yesterday got the 4090. So yeah, I spoiled myself. I spent too much money. But yeah, grab a burger at the drive-thru. I'm hungry. I could use a burger. Yeah, that was a great flight. But I'm looking at here. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so that's it for today. Good flight. Thanks for flying with me, Sport Flyer and Rocket Glider. I will post. Yes, does get hot. Yeah, from what I understand, those Alienware cases are just really poorly designed for airflow. And, you know, I mean, with a decent airflow case like I have. I mean, unless it's really hot in your room, you shouldn't have trouble with thermals. I mean, what's this thing running? So I just got the 4090, and look, it's running a 47C. I mean, it's not very hot in here, and it's only pulling 175 watts. So, but yeah, it runs nice and cool in there. So, yeah. In any case, guys, check out the Discord. Whoops, I have to type it right. No. RD. Check out the Discord. So we're going to attempt the world record flight on Tuesday. I initially had that scheduled for Monday, but I'm playing that by the weather. The weather determines my schedule. And so, yeah. So it says light rain on Monday, but not till later in the day. Whoops. Monday, yeah, so Monday morning is going to be good for bike ride. Tuesday, it's going to rain all day. 80% chance of rain overnight. It's going to be crappy and rainy on Tuesday. So Tuesday is the day to fly. We're going to go for the world record flight, all-day flight. Hopefully you guys can join me for all or part. Even if you can't fly with me, if you can just put the Twitch stream on and just lurk, even if you can't watch or interact or whatever, you know, all that'll be good help. Because that's gonna be quite a challenge, I think, just to be focused for that long, you know. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Something we've been wanting to give it a try again. Cool, Rocket Glider. Yeah, thanks for hanging out today, and yeah, look forward to seeing you then. And Space Vampire, are you gonna be able to hang out for some of that on Tuesday? All or some of that? All right, so that's it for me. I'll update on the Discord. I'll try to get that up tonight with more details on that. So in the meantime, we're gonna raid out to let's raid out to Sparky Pilot. She's flying airplanes. So we'll go say hi to Sparky Pilot for a little bit, and I'm gonna get some dinner, and I will catch you guys next time.
Plus 500 feet. So I think I'm right with 5,500 feet because I'm going